Hey everyone, welcome to the 6th episode of our Needle Devlog. This time I'm going to talk about some very exciting licensing updates, including our new education program. Also, there's cool new things coming to our MediaPipe package. Last time I showed a bit of the face tracking, and we're also adding hand tracking to that. And last but not least, there's now a GitHub action to directly deploy to Needle Cloud from your GitHub repositories. So let's dive right in. For the first part, we simplified our licensing structure a bit. And as a result of that, the Pro license is now 30% cheaper than before. So it's more affordable to get started with Needle and to add more people to your team. We're also introducing our new education program where it's now super easy. You just have to click on one button to apply for an education license. Education licenses are free. There's numerous universities around the world that are using this already, either in courses for teaching programming or 3D, to teach about WebXR, or students creating their bachelor's and master's thesis projects with it, which is super exciting for us. So if you are on our pricing page, just click on Apply Now, and you go to this new form where you basically enter a couple of details for like, why do you think you're eligible for an educational license? And that includes using your school email address so that we can see which students are from which school and get you into the same team. Please also enter your school's name and website, because we always love seeing where Needle is used and for what. We also made it simpler to get our Pro license. So previously, when you're part of an enterprise company from a certain revenue, you had to go and talk to us about getting an enterprise license, which was a more lengthy process and involved more parts of your organization. So now we're making that simpler. You can now, as an enterprise, also apply for the same kind of Pro license and add people to your team and just get to work. So it should be much more straightforward to get started. For that, just click on the Get Pro button and you'll be brought to Needle Cloud page where you log in, and then you can just upgrade your license. Oh, and same as before, if you get a yearly license, you save approximately 50%. So if you buy Needle for a year, you pay 49 euros per month. If you only want to buy it for a couple months, then it's 99 euros per month. Now onto the face filters and MediaPipe. So we saw this cool post from Ian, who always creates cool 3D on the web demos about using face tracking. And so, of course, Marcel from our team had to try this out with our own face tracking package. And the result looks like this. So we have a similar structure. We can get a video. So here is really just a couple of lines of code of integrating Needle Engine with the face filter package and then specifying which 3D model you want to use for the face. And the same, of course, works as a full screen frame. Thanks, Ian, for making a cool model here. What's also special with Needle's face tracking implementation is that you can directly record a video. So I can click on record here and then talk and say something, and the nice face tracking will make it look good. And then I get a WebM file that you can directly play back again. So here's my recording, and that of course you can share on social media and so on. Marcel has also been hard at work on adding new features to this MediaPipe package. For example, hand tracking is something that a lot of you requested because it's not very easy to get everything aligned properly between the tracked data and the image. And so we're making this super easy. And here you see some in-progress version with a lot of like debug gizmos overlaid on the screen. And how that looks in practice is like here. You can see my face tracking, and then we can also see hand tracking happening. In this version only for one hand, next version is going to have two. And the next cool part, we now have an official GitHub action for deploying directly to Needle Cloud. So Needle Cloud is our hosting offer or hosting service for hosting both 3D assets and full websites. And these websites can be either made with Needle or made with other tools, but you can host them on Needle Cloud nonetheless. And this is now in the GitHub Actions marketplace. So you can add this to your own GitHub deployment workflow to just upload something to Needle Cloud. And it's really simple. It's really just one action that you specify, and you need an access token for it. And I'm going to briefly show how you get that access token so that this action knows where to actually upload your content to. So if you're on the cloud page and logged in, you can click on your face and go to Manage Team. And here you see who's part of the team, how much storage you have, all the AI chats that have happened in your organization. And you can also create access tokens. And access tokens are used for everything where you don't want to log in as a user, for example, over the command line interface or GitHub Actions. And you can just click on New and go through the flow here. You want the right permission. You want this to expire in like a reasonable time. It's not really recommended to use never expiring tokens for security reasons. So set this to something that makes sense for your process. And I can say this is my GitHub deployment token for my cool project. And after I create this, I can copy the access token and use it in the secrets on my GitHub action. And for example, this is our Needle website. The Needle website itself is deployed to Needle Cloud via a GitHub action. So whenever we make a change, the change gets pushed to GitHub. GitHub automatically builds the entire website and then deploys it to Needle Cloud. So pretty cool, pretty easy. It makes it super easy to make updates for your projects and have them live in a matter of moments. And this is just an example of how that looks for our website. You have your action, and when the action has run, like this entire build and deploy step here is what I just showed, then you get the deployment URL down here, and this is basically your deployed page. So this is it for this week's update. We talked about the updated pricing, we talked about the new education program, we talked about GitHub Actions, making it easier to deploy your projects to Needle Cloud, and exciting features coming to our MediaPipe package in terms of face tracking and hand tracking. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think and what you would like to see next and what you would like to see more of. Thank you and bye.